Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 96th, I'm not even kidding you, 96th episode of 10 a.m. Tea with Natalie. I hope that your day is off to an amazing start. I am back to check in with you guys about the spleen in Chinese medicine. And so, again, like we've been talking about, all the organs have a body, mind, and spirit aspect to them. And so that is no different for the spleen either. So the spleen in Chinese medicine is all about absorption of nutrients and digestion. Good morning, Scott. Thanks for checking in today. Nourishing the muscles, supporting the body, that is what the spleen is about. Mentally, the pathology of the spleen relates to overthinking, that kind of monkey mind that won't turn off, anxiety, all the way up to obsession, frankly, can be related to an imbalance of the spleen. The spleen also relates to our processing of emotions and digesting of emotions. And so that when you are kind of overthinking things too much, you're actually depleting some things in your digestion sometimes. Spirit-wise, the spleen houses the yi, or intellect. So this is about your intentions. This is about understanding, clear thinking process, turning ideas into action, kind of just like the muscles turn your idea into motion, thoughts into action is also part of the spleen there, and following through on plans. So if you're having a hard time kind of finishing things up, you may benefit from some work on your spleen. Mental pathology includes eating disorders because the spleen is an earth element organ. It's all about eating and digestion. And so disorders of eating and digestion are also related to the spleen, and that includes the mental piece of anorexia and bulimia. Over-nurturing, being overbearing is also a pathology of the spleen. Too much mothering energy, not enough autonomy is part of that piece. Codependence can be another thing that manifests when people's spleens are out of balance. Physically, we see phlegm, and this could be in the form of phlegm that you're actually coughing up. In Chinese medicine, all phlegm is rooted in the spleen and an error of digestion. If we think of phlegm like toxins, it's kind of ineffective metabolism, and you're having buildup of things in the system, and that generates phlegm. That buildup is phlegm. So this could also be lumps and bumps and weird nodules and fatty deposits and things in the skin that also would relate to phlegm. It also correlates to conditions of the mouth and manifests on the lips. So you should have, pink, rosy lips that are supple and moist. If you're having issues with, paleness, purpleness, different things that can be related to something going on there with the spleen. Food cravings, issues with taste also relate to the spleen. Another interesting factor is the spleen is responsible for holding the blood in the vessels. So bruising really from gentle bumps and things like that would be something that may be related to the spleen not holding blood very well. So that's something else that we may work on, in acupuncture. What can you do in order to benefit the spleen? Well, eating warm cooked food helps the spleen break food down into its nutrient components. When you're eating things that are cold and raw, it takes a lot more work for your body to be able to break those products down. So if you're having any issues with overthinking, worrying, obsession, issues with poor digestion, issues with phlegm, cutting back on those salads and increasing, more soups would be beneficial for those patients. Also cutting out carbs, sugar, processed food crap, that will also benefit the spleen as well. And managing your mind. You have to stay on top of things mentally. A lot of times it's, there's a couple red flags before you go downhill, and it's really important to be paying attention to those red flags to kind of prevent yourself from going in that route there. So staying productive, keeping your life well managed, dealing with conflicts, asking for help is something else that's related a lot to the spleen. And so, if you're in the struggle and you're doing it alone, that definitely isn't, for your best interest. So ask for help if you need it. There's no pathology. Nobody's perfect. Nobody has it all together. And if you don't ask other people for help, you're denying other people the chance of blessing you by being able to give. Because it's this giving and receiving dynamic that has to do with the earth element as well. And so in order, you can't just be giving and giving and giving. You have to allow other people to give to you so that, that can be reciprocal and be sustainable. So that's something else to consider when you're having a hard time. Feel free to let your friends help you. Do you know how good you feel when you help someone else? Don't deny someone else that feeling because you want to be, focused on all your crap and down in the hole feeling terrible. There's no reason to be putting yourself through that. So hopefully you found that to be interesting. Make sure you tune in again tomorrow. We're going to wrap up 10 a.m. tea for the week. And then next week, 10 a.m. tea will be dark while I go ahead and take a little vacation. It's going to be really fun. I might, tune in live just to kind of show you guys what we're doing. It's really cool. And so tomorrow we are going to kind of wrap up the week by talking about the lungs and how those benefit the body and how that works in Chinese medicine. And that will kind of wrap things up. So have an awesome day. Take good care of yourself. Have a glass of water. Eat something with nutrition in it. And I will check in with you again soon. Every Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern here on Facebook Live. Take care, and I'll see you soon.